Hey girls, it's Jessie. I just thought that it would be nice for me to share with you all of my application tips and tricks. My customers and my team have kind of coined this the perfect application, Jessie's perfect application, because they find it to be so much better and easier for them to do than a regular application, and they end up with results that are a lot better. So just to show you, I've already taken off my pointer fingers before I started the video because I wanted to be able to show you how to reapply. But the rest of these have been on for 8 days. And they, in my opinion, they still look amazing. There's a little growth, but there's no bumps. There's no peeling up at the ends. They're just perfect. So that's why we call it perfect. I'm going to show you the tools that I use. Most of them are from Jamberry, other than one thing, and that is this Blue Dawn dish soap. I use Blue Dawn because it helps get the oils off of my hands, and in order to get a good seal with your jams, you have to get the oil off. So this was my first step. I've already done this. I've washed my hands with the Blue Dawn, and I kind of scrub them really to just make sure I'm getting all the oils off my cuticles and my nail beds. The next thing I do is I use this rubber cuticle pusher. This comes also in the Jamberry application kit. I use it, and I'll show you how to use this thing again later, but I use this to push back my cuticles to make sure that they're not hanging over on my nails. What you don't want is for your wrap to touch your cuticle or the sides of your nails. So sizing is extremely important. Prepping and sizing are what's really important and are going to help you get a good seal. So you want to push back the cuticles, and then when you're choosing a size for your nails, you want to pick one that's big enough but not too big that it's going to touch the sides of your fingers. A little small is better than being too big. So those are like the really big tips that I want to tell you about when you're doing your jams. When you're starting out especially, pick one that's a little too small, because you're going to want to practice to get your application right, and it'll be easier for you to do that if your jams are not too big. If they're too big, you're not going to have good results. So I've already pushed back my cuticles with the cuticle pusher, and then I'm going to take this buffer block and just do a quick buff across my finger. You want to make sure you don't have any rough spots, and also this will help rough up your nails. If you have oily nail beds, especially little girls, if you're doing Jam Juniors, they have oily nail beds, so you really want to rough up their nails. So mine are more of a dryer, so I just kind of do a light buff. The next thing you want to do is you want to use some sort of alcohol base to, again, clean off all the oils from your nails. So this is the nail prep wipe that comes in the Jamberry application kit. We also sell like a pump top of the same formula that you can use like with a cotton ball or a paper towel. And if you don't have either of those, you can use rubbing alcohol. So you just want to wipe liberally to make sure you get all that oil off of your cuticles, off of your nails. Wipe it off. All the dust from the buffer, get that stuff off. You don't want it. It's going to make your life difficult. You don't want it. Okay, so this is my sheet of jams. I used this to apply my nails other than my accent nail. So I did a full mani minus one nail, and I still have all of this left. So I cut mine in half. As you can see here, I've already done it. I cut them in half using these stainless steel scissors that come in your application kit. They're really nice. They're worth the money themselves. They're really nice. So I cut mine in half because I have long nail beds, so I use most of that. I have a little excess, but I use most of that. If you have shorter nail beds, a lot of girls have shorter nail beds, you can make this shorter, and then you'll have stuff in the middle that you can come back and do another accent nail later, or you can use it for your baby toes when you're doing a pedicure. So hold on to those scraps if you don't need them, but I'm lazy, and I'm not afraid to admit to you that I'm lazy, and I don't want to mess with misguessing and ending up doing the wrong size and it being too short, because that always seems to happen to me. So I've cut it in half with my stainless steel scissors, and I'm going to use the end of my rubber cuticle pusher. Again, I love this thing, to get my wrap off of the backing. The thing is, you don't want to touch the wrap with your fingers because your fingers are oily. Even though you just washed them, they're oily. They have oils. So if you touch the back of your wrap, it's not going to get as good of a seal. So I've got my wrap on the end of my cuticle pusher, and this thing is awesome. This is the Jamberry mini heater. It's on right now. It's very, very quiet. If you don't have the mini heater, you can use a hair dryer, but I like this because I can use it while my kids are sleeping. So I take my wrap and I just give it just a blast of heat. This is different from what you'll see in the regular application video, but I just give mine just a blast. And then I put it on. It's mostly cold when I'm putting it on because I feel like I can get it better positioned to exactly where I want it if it's not curling up. So I've applied it to the middle of my nail, just laid it on there basically. Then I kind of give it another little blast of heat, and then you take your finger and you just go from cuticle to tip, right in the middle of your nail, right? Sometimes people get a bubble at the top, the very top. That's because they're pressing down the sides first instead of the top first. If you do the top, that's going to iron out those bubbles and keep that from happening right at the tip of your nail. So I've done that. I'm going to heat it again. And again, on that one side, on the first side, I heated this side. I'm going cuticle to tip again. And then I do it again, cuticle to tip. So as you can see, it's very, well, you could see if I wasn't off the screen. It's very smooth. There's no bubbles. It's down on the edges. I can take my rubber cuticle pusher. This is one of the main reasons I really love this thing. I can take my rubber cuticle pusher and I can heat it up. I can like put it on my heater, or I can just heat up my nail and then take this and just press it around the edges to really get a good seal. It's going to make sure you aren't getting you're really getting that thing ironed on. In the same note, this is really the only thing I use that's not in the application kit, and that is just a Ziploc baggie. You can take your Ziploc baggie, this is cool, wrap it around your finger, and then put it in front of the heat. And while you're doing that, it's kind of like shrink wrapping it on there. There's no chance of that buddy coming up because I've prepped my nail, I've applied it cuticle to tip, middle first and then each side separately, and then I've sealed it with my Ziploc bag. So, for this next step, you're going to file off the excess using a nail file. I would recommend waiting until your nail has set for a while so that it's dry, because right now the glue on it is still wet. So if you're filing on your nail while it's still wet, you can end up with rougher edges and it won't be as clean as if you wait until they've cooled. Not really dried, but cooled. So I usually do all my nails, then I come back and file at the end, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pause for a second and then come back after it's had time to cool. As you can see, it looks really, really smooth and good. And you can also see I got a little extra on the side of my nail showing. If you saw me, if you were looking at my nails, you wouldn't notice that. I'm the only one that's going to notice that. But that's going to help me get a better seal. Okay, my nails have had time to cool now, so I'm going to take my nail file, and you'll see in the video that it says to do it at a 90-degree angle, which would be like this, and then file downward only. That's in the official video. I prefer to do it at a 45-degree angle, like this, because if I do that, there is no wrap hanging over the edge of my nail at all, and so I'm not going to have issues with my wraps getting caught on things throughout the day and causing lifting or whatever. So I like to do a 45-degree angle. And that's it. So the little excess comes off and leaves this really clean edge. Nothing hanging over. I like to go back with my Ziploc baggie and just seal it one more time after I do the filing, just to make sure we've really got those tips down. I want to give you another option if you find that your nails are really short. I know we have some nail biters that love the jams. If your nails are really short, sometimes you can't get the right angle. What you can do is you can use nail clippers, and you can just clip off the nail either as close as you can get to it, or you can actually clip off part of your nail with it. Some people just prefer this method. They clip their nails after they apply. And then after you clip, you can go back at that 45-degree angle and clean off any edges that you've got. And that's it. That's all. So just I can do all of my nails in about 15 minutes if I'm not talking this much. Because and like I said, these things have been on for 8 days and they still look this good. Would nail polish does not look this good on me after 8 days. I will tell you that much. It looks awful. It never looks as good because I cannot paint my nails for anything in the world. So I love jams. I'm very passionate about the company itself because it's just the culture, the people who run it, the hostess rewards, my leaders of my team, the girls below me on my team, the compensation plan. Oh my goodness, how did I wait till the end to say the compensation plan? Everything about this company is just, it's just unreal. And I've never experienced working for a group of people that are this wonderful and who absolutely positively without a doubt care about me personally. And that's different for me. So I love it. I love working for Jamberry, and I love sharing tips with you guys. I love helping you with anything at all that you need. Ask me if you have questions. If something comes up when you're applying and you're having problems, ask me. I can probably help because, like I said, I've been doing this for over a year. I've been helping girls. Maybe if you have curvy nails, or like I said before, if you have really short nails and you can't get the file right, don't just give up. Don't get frustrated. Come ask me and I'll help you, okay? Or ask your consultant. If I'm not your consultant, ask your consultant and they will help you. And we'll get you figured out. We'll get it figured out for you, and we'll do whatever we need to help you, because there's a reason why I have 2 binders full of jams, because I love these things. They're awesome, and I have more jams than I can probably ever wear, but whatever, they're beautiful, and I didn't spend any money on them, and I love them. So like I said, make sure you're getting off all the oils off your fingers. Prep. Choose the right size. This might take practice. It might be the second or third application before you get it perfect. That's okay. But try not to get it too big. If it's too small, that's better. And then just make sure you're sealing the edges when you're applying. Do the cuticle to tip, cuticle to tip, cuticle to tip. And then seal with your plastic bag. Oh, and file at 45. Those are my main tips, and if you can do those things, I think that you'll find that you're getting a really good application. And if you don't, come ask me. I love you girls. I really do. I love you girls. I love doing this. I love helping people. I love making you feel pretty. And so please come to me if you need anything at all. I love y'all. Bye. So this is how. So as you can see. Sorry, this mirror image thing gets me every time. Mirror image. Mirror image. Mirror image.